Welcome to Expo Idaho, former home of Les Bois Park, well, soon to be the home of Boise's first and only professional soccer team here in Garden City. Welcome along as we're going to bring you the unveiling tonight of the team name, the team colors, and of course, all of the mascot and all of the crest and everything. We got you covered from the stands to the sky to down on the field. It's been a long time in the making to get to this point. We're going to get more on that in just a moment, but until then, we're going to get down to the field with Brady Frederick, who's down on the field with some of the exciting things happening down there. Brady?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a lot of fun, Brian. The last couple hours, this place has been packed with kids running around. You can see the inflatable bounce houses, some soccer nets set up, a lot of kids running around and creating that fun family environment that this pro team is all about. Of course, the field has cleared out so far because the big announcement is just moments away.
Okay, so we mentioned it's been years in the making since we got here, until we got here. How long has it been? Well, and how did we get here? Let's take a look.
The blue changed to green in 2015 during Hialdi. Athletic Bilbao and Club Tijuana, two of the best professional teams in the world, came to Boise to play an international friendly in front of a crowd of nearly 22,000 people at Albertson Stadium. It was the largest crowd to ever watch a soccer game in Idaho. It was a catalyst for what was to come. A year after that Hialdi game, in June of 2016, another professional game in Idaho. This time, the United Soccer League, known as the USL, the biggest league in the country. A sold-out crowd of 4,000 people filled the stands at Rocky Mountain High School to watch the Portland Timbers 2 and Swope Park Rangers play. It even featured a hometown player, Blake Bodley. In 2017, an idea from the company that owns the Boise Hawks baseball franchise: build a multi-purpose 5,000-seat stadium in downtown Boise at Americana Boulevard and Shoreline Drive. Under the idea, the Boise Hawks and some Boise State sports would use the facilities. A few months later, a second idea: build the stadium off Whitewater Park on land owned by the College of Western Idaho. However, the plan quickly shifted back to downtown Boise. But it faced significant community opposition, in part due to the location and because some didn't want taxpayer money used to build the stadium. Then, Boise State backed out. In 2018, the stadium idea officially moved to the west end of downtown. At that time, the USL said should Boise approve a stadium, it would bring a team here. But that same year, Boise voters passed a ballot initiative requiring a public vote for stadium projects in the city exceeding $5 million. The project stalled. But in late 2019, some hope. The Expo Idaho Citizens Advisory Committee was formed, bringing together city, business, arts, entertainment, financial, and nonprofit leaders from Ada County to explore the best options for an abandoned piece of property that is widely considered one of the state's most coveted and valuable acreage, the property formerly known as Les Bois Park. Then, COVID hit, and there was no movement. It wasn't until 2021 that the county sent out a survey asking people what they wanted to see there. The county gave 3 different options, including a multi-purpose stadium. Ultimately, Ada County commissioners agreed on a 3-phased approach. Phase 1 will be what's called a once-in-a-generation park on the north end of the property. It will provide access to nature, the Boise River, and more. That's expected to be completed in 2026. Phase 2 is the stadium at the former Les Bois racetrack. Boise Pro Soccer, founded in October of 2024 by an ownership group, signed a 30-year lease. Construction started in March of 2025 and is expected to really pick up after the Western Idaho Fair in August, with the team's first games scheduled to be played in March 2026.
All right, so that's how we got here. Now we're here. We're ready for the unveiling of what the Boise Pro Soccer team is going to be called, what colors they're going to wear, what crest is going to be over their hearts on their outfits. Down on the stage right now is Brad Sith and Bill Taylor and David Wally, the co-founders of Boise Pro Soccer. And they're going to give us the hype video here that's going to tell us what we need to know tonight. He's got a few words, and we're going to send it down to the stage right now. Take it away, Brad.
All right, Boise. We couldn't be more excited. We could not be more excited about this moment. Professional soccer is here. And the partnership with Ada County and your local ownership group and all of you that are here, our entire community made this happen and made this moment. Are you ready? Here we go.
Waiting for the crowd to react, and here it comes. More than 3,000 people here tonight to celebrate the beginning of Athletic Club Boise. There it is. Amazing. The fans love it. They are thrilled about it. You saw the breakdown in that hype video of what it's all about. The mountains, the valleys, agriculture, the peregrine falcon, the star garnet, and of course, the lettering on the crest is a Basque-inspired lettering. So the connection is there, which is pretty amazing. There's going to be a flag unveiled on the field right now, down on the bottom. Brady Frederick is down there for the flag, the team flag being unveiled, along with some kids, a whole lot of fans, a lot of scarves being displayed. There's going to be a merch tent opened up a little bit later tonight. There is the flag unveiled. Brady, you're down in the middle of all that. How's it going down there?
I'll tell you what, Brian, it feels like we're witnessing a moment in history. You can see the smiles on the fans' faces. They wave this flag for the first time. Everybody's wearing one of these, the new scarves for the Boise Athletic Club. And man, it's just a heck of a moment. You can really feel the passion that Treasure Valley soccer fans have. And this is that first step forward, a moment that's going to be big. Can we get a little closer? And you can really, everyone's got their phones out. Everybody's excited to be cheering on Boise this upcoming spring.
Quite some time, but this is it. We're looking at green, we're looking at black. We've got the purple in the eye of the Peregrine Falcon. The colors have been displayed. The crest, we know it now. And now we also know the name, the Peregrine Falcons Athletic Club Boise, which is pretty amazing. So there it is, they love it. Brady. All right, Brady, what else you got going on down there?
Well, it's finally starting to cool off a little bit. Everybody doing their best to try to get a photo of the flag, the crest, the brand new logo. I'll tell you, these scarves are going to be pretty iconic once a couple months from now after they made their debut. I'll tell you what, a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be showing you the merch tents, the first of its kind, the hats, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts. Everybody's going to be really excited to go grab their gear so that they can be ready to support Athletic Club Boise when things get rolling.
Awesome. All right, hey, Brady, get in line now. Get me a scarf, get me a hat. I would appreciate it, please. That line's going to fill up rather quickly. Thank you very much. Okay, so you saw the crest. You saw the logo. The Basque-inspired lettering on that crest is pretty awesome. But that's not the only connection that the Boise Athletic Club Boise pro soccer team has to Vizcaya. That's the area of northern Spain where the Basque country is. More than a decade ago. It's been many years. Argia Berstein and Bill Taylor came up with this idea. They thought, what if we brought a Basque soccer team to Boise for a friendly, for a match? Well, in July of 2015, they made that happen. And for many, there's a direct line that can be drawn from that game to where we are today, between that international match, that friendly at Boise State, to where we are today.
The signs were obvious at Cloverdale Nursery in February of 2015. But the grassroots effort to bring professional soccer to Boise began much earlier.
It was a dream. I mean, honestly, it was a dream come true. Because
it was Argia Berstein who helped plant the seed.
No one knew what La Liga was. No one knew what the professional soccer was. So I'd have to explain MLS. Then I would have to draw a map to Spain and show La Liga.
Growing up a fan of Athletic Club Bilbao, Argia believed having the Basque team in Boise for Hialdi was a no-brainer.
A lot of the people from this area, especially in the Basque community, have connections back to Athletic Bilbao and to that area of Vizcaya.
Her first hurdle, though, where would they play?
We started the process in 2013 trying to convince the university.
Convincing meant ensuring and insuring against any damage to the beloved blue.
But it was a lot of explaining what the opportunity was, what soccer meant to the Basque community, how modern sport can pull together not just the Basque community, but the broader Hispanic community, the broader soccer community, and it took a lot of convincing. Meanwhile, I was continuing to have conversations with Athletic Bilbao. So they knew about their diaspora in Boise, they had heard of Hialdi, and I started working really hard trying to convince them to bring their team here, which if you think about it now, and especially now looking back 10 years, it was crazy for them to think we could do this. It was crazy.
But by March, with most of the money raised,
Athletic Club de Bilbao has agreed and committed to play in the Basque Soccer Friendly.
The Lions were in, and so were their opponents.
From Baja California and Mexico, Liga MX's top-ranked team, Club Tijuana.
A scheduling conflict may have moved the game up 2 weeks, But that wasn't even the trickiest wrinkle. You had to get turf in here.
Yes.
You had to get the foundation for the turf.
Yeah, so we had to put down event decking and then geotextile.
The transformation of the blue turf to green may have seemed like the most monumental part of this endeavor. But success was dependent on how many would fill the seats.
There were a lot of people who didn't think people would show up. If I recall correctly, I think we could break even if 15,000 showed up.
And what did you end up with?
27,000?
But that told you there was a need and a want.
Absolutely.
For soccer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that, I mean, we literally the next week got a call from USL, and no exaggeration, we were still taking the sod and the event decking off of the field, and we were getting emails and phone calls from folks being like, hey, we want to look at, you know, bringing a club there, or can we test bringing a USL team here? It was obvious that we got some attention.
However, bringing pro soccer to Southern Idaho would see some starts and stops during the next decade.
I think our market would demand and can withstand having a USL Pro level team here.
Allusions to leagues, debates about stadiums. Until finally, Arguia began to believe the dream of a pro team in Boise could become a reality with the right ownership group.
And that's when I began to have more and more confidence in Brad and the entire team that they have around Boise Pro Soccer, because they care about this community. A lot of them are from this community, and a lot of them have a lot of professional sports experience. So I don't know if it's because of what happened, but we definitely helped them prove the case, right? So in 2015, here on the Blue, and in 2016 out at Rocky Mountain, it was just a matter of time from my perspective. I knew this community could handle soccer. I knew this community was hungry for it. I knew if we did it right, it would be incredible. And so that was pretty much my mission, and staying involved and becoming an advisor for Boise Pro Soccer was, don't screw it up.
Welcome back to Expo Idaho, Les Bois Park, if you will. where we now know Athletic Club Boise is going to be calling this place home beginning in March of 2026. And with me right now, one of the co-founders of Boise Pro Soccer, Brad Stith. Brad, local boy, this has got to be super exciting for you.
It is. It's incredible. And I mean, tonight, you know, you see the immense community support that we have, everybody that showed up. I mean, as they were watching the video live, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that from that kind of crowd. So, you know, the fact that this was really built by our community, for our community, and this is the first step of being a living, breathing professional soccer team and professional soccer club, being the first one in Idaho, we couldn't be more excited.
So we talked about the connection to the Basque Country, the name, the graphics, some kind of stuff. Time for me to get rid of this one, though, by the way, because we're back up to this. But the point is, this is a local thing, right? And I know it's about collecting the finances and get all that in order, but when did you know that this was going to be a real thing, this was possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was baby steps all the way. Like, you go back to us being able to acquire the rights with the USL back in 2023, and then working diligently with the county once the auction came out. And the Ada County has been such an incredible partner of not just the stadium project, but the entire sports complex and what this is going to turn into. Because you're going to have professional soccer players playing and practicing right here with a ton of kids playing and practicing right there, having that as a concrete example for them, and the amount of impact. I mean, what that does through a kid when they can see it on a concrete level, it changes lives in a really, really good way. And we couldn't be more blessed to be here right now.
This community wanted this and needed this, and like, this is something they can handle, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at just the incredible support we've got, and I mean, we're over 4,000 season ticket deposits. You know, you saw the crowd that was here tonight, and this is for a name reveal, right? Like, it's not a game, it's a name reveal. But I mean, people are so excited, and again, like, without the community, this is nothing. And so Boise wanted this. That was loud. Very, very loud and clear this entire time. I think it's been loud and clear since the Bass Friendly back in 2015, right? And with that kind of support, we knew that, I mean, with this backdrop, I mean, how many backdrops are like this?
This is beautiful. Okay, so speaking of the backdrop, you guys are going to do a lot of throwbacks here. The stadium's going to be completely different, but not completely. There's going to be some homages here, right?
There's no question. I mean, I grew up coming to the horse races, right? And grew up with horses. I mean, and this is where some of my best friends either were made or that we spent time together. And you're definitely going to see, you know, throwbacks to Les Bois Park and IRS windows and cash windows and a lot of the history that was here. You can't ignore that. It's too special. And it impacted people's lives in a great way, where this was a place of joy for a lot of people, and it was a hub. And now we're able to just extend that and build something truly special moving forward.
So now the next chapter of work begins. Thank you very much, Brad. Congratulations. Successful night. Absolutely. We're going to go from here. Take it.
Absolutely.
This would be awesome. Thank you very much, Brad. All right, we're going to bring a lot more to you in just a moment. We're going to take you down the field. We'll show you the view from above. But that's it for right now. We'll be back, and after this, with the unveiling of the Athletic Club Boise professional soccer team. Right after this.
Hey, welcome back inside as we continue the debut of Athletic Club Boise. In just about 5 minutes, the merch room is going to be open. All of this stuff is going to be on sale, but first, we're giving you an exclusive look at all of that. I'm here with Jenny Meyer, the owner of Against, who's been helping out with the marketing of this club. How nice is it to see all this stuff in person right now?
It is pretty incredible when you've worked hard on something and then you see it in real life. It's kind of hard to describe, actually, especially at this scale.
Yeah, so we're looking out around the room. There's hats, there's more scarves, there's pins, there's shirts, sweatshirts, everything. You guys really had to increase your order because of how many people wanted to show up tonight once you got the RSVPs. Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yes, we almost had to double our order once we originally put it in, and that was interesting when you're trying to get stuff from all over.
Yeah, and the line to get in here, I mean, it's a couple blocks essentially. You can see behind us, people are starting to funnel in real early. But before that, why don't you show us what you got, what people can expect, and get used to seeing this crest around.
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing we have are, of course, a soccer essential, which is a scarf. And we have a series of hats. We're trying to get something that everyone would appreciate and wear. So we've got your traditional dad hat. We've got a hat that looks like this, with a flat bill and a curved bill, because everybody has a different preference. Pins. We were really trying to make sure that we had something for everyone, so all the different price points. Let's go over here. Sorry. I should have opened some of this stuff, but as you can see, we have boxes and boxes of stuff, and we are a little worried that we're actually going to sell out, even though we have a pretty massive amount of swag. We've got all sorts of fun little touch points on these pieces, so things like that, little tags, make it a little extra special. Should we go this way?
Yeah. Little pieces of history out here. And by the way, I love the color scheme of all of this. It's so unique unlike anything else we've seen in Boise, but just feels like it's going to be iconic. Thank you so much for your time. As we continue, we've covered that Boise may be built on that other type of football, but there's a massive soccer community out here in the Treasure Valley. We wanted to give you a better look into that and kind of prove to you that no matter how old you are, it's never too late to fall in love with a new sport.
Kind of give you an idea of how much fun it was. And
a 25-year coaching career with unlikely beginnings.
How could I be a success if I never ever played soccer? Despite that, maybe I ended up doing okay as a coach.
Back in the 80s, Buzz Splitgerber learned from one of the best, Bob Gansler. Before coaching the U.S. national team and winning an MLS Cup, he had made his way to the Treasure Valley.
He came to Boise for a couple of years, gave clinics, and helped a lot of the coaches in the area.
Buzz has seen rapid growth. His kids played.
Right here.
Now their kids play.
25 different club teams just in southwest Idaho right now. It really has expanded.
It was on full display this past week. The Simplot Sports Complex in Boise was the site of the U.S. Youth Soccer Far West Regional Championship. The best of the best from each age group, including a number of local clubs.
It just means to represent our club, Idaho Rush, and represent the state of Idaho, and get some good competition from other all across the region. We have Hawaii, Alaska, California, Washington, all the top teams from the region.
And Idaho holds their own.
I think we had a record number of teams competing for semi-finals, so it's exciting. We're very competitive within our region.
The majority of college recruits are evaluated through club play. With the Treasure Valley's vastly improved programs, facilities, and coaching, more and more players are getting an opportunity at the next level.
The kids from our club and even the clubs around the valley have gone on to the next level, and that's really good for the state of Idaho and club soccer in general.
And some of them land right in their hometown. Boise State head coach Jim Thomas aims to fill at least a third of his roster with local talent, something that's possible with a growing club scene and a larger pool of players.
We've all experienced it, right? The boom of people in Boise, that brings in higher level athletes, more aspiring families that are used to really pushing for greatness.
He's also seen the fan base grow rapidly.
Crowds literally doubled.
That's due to the success of the program and facility upgrades like new lights to improve the fan experience.
We're a family-based community. The kids want to come with their mum and dad, yell a lot, really be a part of the experience.
So the fan base is there, the participation is there, And with the arrival of a pro team, it's all expected to continue.
Give it a year and you're just going to see a major growth in soccer. I grew up, my parents taking me to the local professional team, falling in love with the game, role models and so on. But I think it's deeper than that. I think genuinely a kid could step on the field here at 4 years old and really have that aspiration, those dreams to play pro soccer. It's within touching distance now.
Welcome back to Expo Idaho, Les Bois Park, where this is going to be the home, the future home of the Boise Pro Soccer Club team. Athletic Club Boise is going to be playing here in March of 2026. And I know what you're asking. What's coming up in this August is the fair, the Western Idaho Fair. Well, joining me right now is Bob Batista, the director of the Western Idaho Fair. So that's coming up this August, yes, sir. Just about a month and a half away. And people are going to be wondering, what's going to happen with this facility? Are they going to start construction, or are they going to wait till after the fair?
So we're going to start construction Monday. We're going to take down the crow's nest. They're going to take down a few trees in the back, and we're going to start painting the inside of the roof and the outside of the back wall.
Wow, so that's soon. So people who come to the fair are going to start to see the changes happening immediately.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so this will still be used for concerts then?
Yes, we're going to come over here for our last year on the grass, and then next year, for about 3 weeks, we get this back for ourselves for the fair, and then it'll go back to Boise Pro Soccer. So we're excited to see one last year here on the grass and then be on the turf.
You've been here 25 years. Yep. You've seen a lot of changes here. Nothing quite like this, I guess.
Well, not like this, not like the park. We're working on the parking lot. We got a lot going on. Sometimes it feels like a war zone.
That's what I was going to ask. So it's all going to be integrated, right? We got the park that's being built over here right now. Then they're going to work on this section.
Yeah, so the park's going to be done in December of 26. These guys will play their first game in March of 26. So, I mean, January 27, this will be 26. So we're just going to keep going and going and going. So we're excited about it. It's going to be kind of an entertainment mecca out here.
Yeah, and just to break, not if we're breaking any news, but this will be your last year with the fair.
Yes, sir.
But you're going to stick around and kind of help out with the club.
Yeah, I am. I've put a lot of effort into this. Me and Brad have worked on this for a long time, and I want to see it to fruition. It's just something I'm really proud of, that Ada County has found a home for this Les Bois Park, now become pro soccer.
It's going to be a lot of history and a lot of future going into this, too, with a lot of changes, which is exciting. Bob, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, again, coming to the fair this August, you're going to start to see the beginnings of, well, this place turning into a soccer stadium. So be aware of that, but the concerts will still go on. Come for the Western Idaho Fair. We're going to be right back after this with more of the festivities, because people are still sticking around to celebrate the unveiling of Boise's pro soccer team.
Welcome back out to Expo Idaho, where the party is still going. I mean, the team has already been unveiled, but man, the crowds are still there, the music is still pumping, the kids are still playing. We are still having a lot of fun. I'm joined now by Michael Kafari, who has a long and continuing soccer journey. Now he is working with community engagement for Athletic Club Boise. Why don't you just start with telling us a little bit about your journey and how much it means to see pro soccer here in the City of Trees?
Yeah, I mean, my journey hasn't been traditional. A lot of winds and turns. But, you know, it was always a goal of mine to kind of, you know, if not play here, bring something like this here and help out. So I think this gives kids a clear path, an opportunity to the pros, and like how to get there and what they need to do being here, being involved with, you know, the pros, watching them train, how they carry themselves, how the coaches coach the players. I mean, it gives them that exposure.
Absolutely. I mean, it's pretty safe to say, based on what we've seen tonight, the crowds that we've had, this is an incredible soccer town already, and this is only going to make it grow even more, especially with that role model perspective, the young kids with some pros to look up to. How valuable has this pro soccer landscape that already exists in the Treasure Valley been, and how much do you think a pro team can amplify that a little bit?
I mean, just exactly. With the kids, obviously that's a no-brainer. But I think bringing a pro team here helps with coaches, coaching education, knowing what it's like to actually, I almost got hit, what it's like to actually, you know, coach kids and develop at different stages to give them that guidance they need to play at the highest level that they can.
Absolutely, and as you continue, obviously a pretty good start with community engagement. People love the crest, the colors, the name already. But what's next for you guys as you gear up for play next March? How do you get more and more people involved, more and more people supporting this club?
Well, we're going to have some watch events and try to be out at all the youth events, high school games, and see if we can connect with, parents, kids, and maybe even people who are not fans and try to get them to be fans.
Absolutely. Hey, Michael, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show for us. And for a lot of people in Boise, you might not be super familiar with the league that they're playing in, the USL, the United States Soccer League. We're going to break down what all of that means for you real quick right now so you can get up to speed.
It's the largest professional soccer organization in North America, with 48 professional teams currently in the United States. And within the USL, there are different leagues on both the men's and women's sides, as well as an elite player development academy. Let's start with the men. There are 3 tiers: Championship, League 1, and League 2. League 2 is considered a pre-professional league, with its players hoping to pursue professional careers while still being able to maintain collegiate eligibility. Because once you go pro, you cannot go back and play in college. The season runs between May and mid-July. There are 4 conferences, consisting of 74 franchises. League 1 is the Middle League, which launched in 2019. That's where Boise will be playing their first season. This league targets cities with populations between 150,000 to 1 million people. You can see those 19 teams on a map, including the Spokane Velocity and AV Alta Vista in Southern California. And finally, the Championship. This league formed in 2011 when 2 existing professional leagues were combined to form what's known today as the USL Championship. It features 24 clubs, with another 5 expansion teams on the way. Also, the USL announced a new professional league launching in 2028. That'll be the highest level for men's professional soccer in the United States, the same professional level as Major League Soccer. Accompanying this league will be promotion and relegation between the 3 professional leagues in the USL, which will be the first time the United States will have a professional soccer ecosystem like professional leagues in Europe. On the women's side, there's 2 leagues, the Super League and the W League, both of which are relatively new. The Super League debuted in 2024 with 8 teams and is the highest level of women's professional soccer in the United States. The goal? To grow to 16 teams in the near future. The season for them, it runs August to June. And the W League, just like the Men's League 2, this league, which launched in 2022, features players hoping to pursue professional careers while still being able to maintain their collegiate eligibility. It's also meant to be a pipeline to the Super League. Currently, there are 90 teams across the United States who play May to July. And finally, more pipelines to grow players. There's the USL Academy, which in Boise will work with local clubs to grow players and provide them the best chance of reaching the professional level. And then there's the USL Youth, which works to foster an inclusive community through events, content, and experiences.
And again, all of this starts very soon. The men's team will be kicking off in March of 2026. The women's team is just around the corner, starting play in fall of 2027. Our coverage continues right after the break.
Oh, well, welcome back to Les Bois Park. You know, this used to be one of the places to be on Wednesdays and weekends back, I don't know, years ago when they had live horse racing here. Some of the finest live horse racing in all of the state of Idaho. But again, that's going to change over the next several months. And Justin Core is going to take us on a tour through history as this stadium is going to transition from the sport of kings to the beautiful game.
Les Bois Park, right on the banks of the Boise River, across the parking lot from Boise Hawks Memorial Stadium, and right next door to the fairgrounds at Expo Idaho. In fact, when the track opened back in 1970, it was called the Boise Fairgrounds Track until it was renamed Les Bois Park in 1973. But what does it even mean? The name is French. The story goes that in the 1800s, French-speaking trappers came over the hills out of the desert and saw the green trees running along the river. They exclaimed, Les Bois, which means the woods. That was, of course, the inspiration for the name of our capital city, Boise, and later, Les Bois Park. But it wasn't the woods that people came here to see. It was the horse racing. Even though there were a couple other tracks in Idaho, this was the epicenter for horse racing in the Gem State. Fans would sit right here behind me for 40 years and watch the horses run. This track saw thousands of races with incredible horses and future stars in the saddle, like Gary Stevens. The Hall of Fame jockey was born in Caldwell and started riding at just 14. And they're off! At 17, he won his first race right here at Les Bois Park. He went on to win more than 5,000 races, including 9 wins in Triple Crown races. But it all started at Les Bois. This was where a lot of racing careers started. The track operated continuously until 2008, but then it was the start of the end. Capital Racing terminated its lease in 2009 and it sat empty until 2011. Treasure Valley Racing brought horse racing back to Les Bois and even remodeled the Turf Club. Unfortunately, it wouldn't last. The Idaho Supreme Court handed down a decision in 2015 upholding the ban on instant horse racing terminals. The machines allowed bettors to put money down on past horse races with no identifiable information. Critics said the terminals were essentially, though, just slot machines, which are illegal in Idaho off tribal land. But track owners and fans of Idaho horse racing said without those terminals, their industry would collapse in the Gem State. They were right. Treasure Valley Racing shut down the track in March of 2016. But after sitting empty for almost a decade, sports are coming back to Les Bois Park. This here right beside me is going to look like this. The new home of Boise Pro Soccer. The $9 million, more than 27-acre Phase 1 will see this new soccer field and practice pitch built. What was once the epicenter of the sport of kings in Idaho will be the epicenter of the beautiful game. Phase 1 will also see new seating built right here. This will be part of a 6,000-seat stadium that will include loge boxes, more premium seating in the old turf club, bleachers, places to stand and watch, a video board, and suites. But that's just Phase 1. Phase 2 promises to expand the stadium to 11,000 seats, and right over there, we'd see more soccer fields, maybe some courts, and youth baseball or softball diamonds. The lease requires all this to get done in 10 years. Considering the county is also building a 50-acre park using federal money from the Biden administration between the field and the Boise River, it's all part of the plan to turn this into this. The whole area surrounded by Garden City will see a massive transformation in the next few years.
And what a transformation it is going to be. I mentioned this was the place to be on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Wednesdays are ladies' night here at Les Bois Park. I have a feeling this place, once again, very soon, is going to be the place to be again. We'll be right back to wrap up our coverage here from Les Bois Park at the unveiling of the Boise Pro Soccer team. Welcome back to Les Bois Park, where things are kind of winding down for the evening after the unveiling of Athletic Club Boise, the team here that's going to be playing on this pitch March of 2026, when they, of course, turn it into a pitch. So, Brady, I want to get your impression of kind of the events of the evening, what you thought being down on the field and being among all the crowd while this is being unveiled.
You know, we knew going into this that there is a massive amount of support, a massive passion for soccer here in the Treasure Valley. But to be down on the court and just kind of see that on everybody's faces, how much excitement that they all shared, how much they're ready for this to kick off in March, there really is no other way to describe it. It was just an absolute blast, and you can kind of feel what they're building out here right now, Brian.
And we kind of talked about it during the show here about this whole thing starting with the Basque Soccer Friendly back in 2015 and how much of that draw, with 27,000 people, they're going to try to fill 6,000 of these seats every game. So Steelheads can do it. Why can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people in the Treasure Valley, they love to support their local teams. Whether we're talking Boise State, Idaho Steelheads, Boise Hawks, and this is the first of its kind really out here. I love the branding. I love the unique color scheme that they bring to the table. You know?
Let's talk about this a little bit. I mean, we got the Boise Basque lettering, or the Basque lettering that say Boise. Yeah. That's a throwback to the almost lightning bolt but peregrine falcon looking thing there. As we're told, fastest animal on Earth. Brad just told us that.
Not just the fastest animal, not just fastest bird, fastest animal.
Fastest animal. 250.
That's pretty important in soccer.
So that's what we're hoping to see on the pitch, too, are some fast players out there. They got the valleys and the mountains. It's kind of all, and, of course, the agriculture. It's all displayed here in this crest.
Yeah, I love taking a look at the merch. I can't wait to see people out in the community repping this team, getting ready for hopefully some big success out on the pitch early on.
It's going to be exciting. Again, we're just now getting everything going. Things are tearing down here, but they're going to start breaking this thing apart before the fair even begins. You'll see the transformation happen as you drive by in Garden City. But this is an exciting night, going to turn into an exciting next few months, several months, as the Boise Soccer Club really gets going for fans and everyone else. We'll see you later.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.